Hello there, and thanks for joining me. I'm artist Aaron Rudden, and in this video, I'm going to teach you how to create a speed painting. A speed painting is a recording of a painting sped up. The purpose of speeding up the footage is to condense a process that took hours to complete into a video that can be watched in minutes. In this tutorial, I'll be using Camtasia to record my screen and edit the video, but you can use other screen capture and editing software if you like. Examples of screen capture software would be Cam Studio, FRAPS, and the Mac version of Quicktime. You can edit videos with iMovie for Mac, Windows Movie Maker, or Adobe Premiere Pro. First, let's prepare the screen for recording. You may want to close or hide any private content that you don't want to be sharing in your screen capture, and then next you'll want to open your art program full screen, then set Camtasia to record the entire monitor containing your art software. The capture area defines the maximum video output size. For example, if I choose 1080 for my capture size, that's going to be the output size for my video. If I choose 720, that'll be the maximum output size. If the recording area is larger or smaller than the output resolution, size and position your windows and content to stay within the safe zone. Next, choose the record settings. You'll want to choose TREC, which is an MP4 compression format, because AVI has issues with Windows 10 and it'll be much larger in file size. It may also be helpful to set your temporary folder to an additional hard drive if possible. Now that everything's set up, we can begin the recording process. Here's some tips that'll help you while you're recording your screen. Make sure all content stays within the safe zone. If you make a mistake, try to go back and repeat the last step rather than start over from the beginning. Save your artwork often and save iterations. It's safer to stop the recording during long breaks or distractions. If you pause the recording, be very careful to remember to resume the recording before you continue with your artwork. Personally, I've forgotten a few times, and you'll have to start over from where the video left off. Long format videos should be recorded in several sessions so that the video files aren't too large. So whenever you're ready, initiate the screen recording and start capturing your footage. When you're finished recording, stop the recording and save the file to a project folder. Camtasia Studio will automatically open and import your footage. So now we're ready to do some editing. First, make sure the composition is set to your output/recording size and resize the clips to fit the screen if necessary. Add clips to your timeline by right-clicking on them and choosing Add to Playhead, or drag them onto the timeline. You can expand and contract the view of the timeline with the slider. Watch the video and look for any areas that can be removed, such as mistakes, pauses, or anything that's not essential to the presentation. If the video's long, scrubbing through it will save you a lot of time. You can do this by dragging the playhead left and right. You can use the split tool to split the clip and remove unwanted areas. You can also select a range and cut it. If you have multiple clips, place them in your composition and arrange them however you like. And if you want to add music, you can drag that in as a track as well. Now it's time to start speeding up our clips. You can right-click on the clip and choose Clip Speed to shrink the time to fit your desired duration or to fit your music track. You can also drag the green bar on the bottom of the clip to shrink or expand it. If your music is too loud or too quiet, you may want to optimize the audio levels. Click on the audio button and choose volume up or volume down, or you can drag the horizontal line up and down on the audio clip. And if you have multiple audio tracks, you can either loop them or crossfade them together. Next, we'll want to add some transitions to make your video look a little more appealing. You can fade in and out of the start and end of the video. And you can add transitions in between the clips if you desire. Selecting multiple clips and then stitching them together will fuse them together and make them easier to edit as a whole. If you like, you can add callouts, which are annotations, visual aids, your copyright info, or your website or social media addresses. And zooming and panning can make it easier to see small details or add movement to your video. Consider adding a slow zoom effect to keep your screen moving. And in addition to audio and video, you can also add still images. For example, you may want to add a title at the beginning, a before and after at the end, and then maybe an ending screen. While you're working, I recommend that you save often and you save iterations of your composition. So you could have composition 1, composition 2, composition 3, and so on. That way, if you make a mistake or something happens and your file gets corrupted, you'll always have that older version to go back to. Camtasia can be very buggy, especially when dealing with large, complex compositions. If you're experiencing frequent crashes, split your composition into multiple parts that are less than 15 minutes in duration. Once you've finished editing your video, save the composition. To turn the composition into a video that can be uploaded to YouTube, you'll need to render or produce it. First, click on the Produce button. Next, choose Custom Settings, and we'll want to choose MP4 for our video format. And then uncheck Produce with Controller unless you want to embed the video on a website. Next, you'll want to choose the video output size, which should be the size that you recorded the video at. Now it's time to choose the encoding mode and the bitrate. I'll give you a few options here because there's not a magic number that works for every video. If you want a high quality video, you'll choose the high profile. And then you have a few different options for your bitrate. I recommend if you want the YouTube maximum bitrate, you set it to 16,000, but you could also choose 12,000 or 8,000 if you want a slightly lower quality video. These differences in quality are pretty minimal and most people probably won't notice. If you want a smaller file, you can choose a baseline or main profile and a bitrate that's 6,000 or less, but there'd be a noticeable difference in the quality of the video. The advantage to using a lower bitrate is that the file size will be smaller and it'll take less time to upload to YouTube. So now that we've chosen our export options, let's choose a location to export. If possible, I recommend choosing an extra hard drive that's separate from your footage. Now it's time to go ahead and render the video. This is going to take some time depending on the length of your video. While you're waiting, you can check out my other videos such as uploading videos to YouTube and how to create a YouTube channel. If you experience crashes during the rendering process, try closing Camtasia and then reopen the project. If that doesn't work, split the video into smaller segments and use markers to separate the clips. Then you can check Export as multiple clips from the timeline, or you could split the composition into parts and render it out that way. Now that the video is rendered out, we'll want to do some quality control. Watch each video all the way through to ensure that there aren't any major mistakes. If there are mistakes, make a list of timecodes with each mistake and then go back and edit them out. Once you've fixed your mistakes, you can re-render the videos as needed. So there you go, that's a quick tutorial on how to create a simple speed painting. If you found this information helpful, take a quick second to like this video, and make sure to subscribe to my channel because I'll be releasing more speed painting tutorials that'll focus on topics like adding narration and editing with Premiere Pro. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.